presenting on dressing for success. I'm Stephen, this is Mark, and this is Andrew. And the biggest thing, we decided to cut this down a little more to dressing business formal, not just dressing for a day at Zeller's, but more for the accountants, the law firms, those more white-collar jobs. So we will be going through and we'll be talking about why is it important, what to wear for women and what not to wear, what to wear for men and what not to wear, and then a little bit of both. And so Mark will be doing why is it important to dress.
Right, thanks. So, well, obviously it's important in business. Appearance is something that people look at a lot because it determines how people think of you. So the way you look determines how people think about you, even though if they don't know you. And according to statistics, 55% of a first impression is based just upon how you look. So that's not only clothes, but clothing has a large part to do with that. In a lot of cases, in the first minute of just meeting you, people make up their mind about your education level, your occupation, social status, and a whole lot of other things. That's just within 1 minute. So in business, that could be a potential employer, it could be a client or a customer, or it could just be a co-worker. So in most cases, it's important to come off strong at the beginning so that they respect you. And in one of the sources we used, I really like this quote: "Clothing is a nonverbal statement of your willingness to be a team player." In a lot of businesses, they want to know how you're going to fit into their work environment, if you're going to be able to be a part of that business team. So being able to conform to the way that everyone dresses and looks is a great way to be able to show your willingness to be a part of that team. There's also a lot of employers, when they're giving you an interview or when they're thinking about promotions, a lot of times the way you look and the way you dress will have you in the forefront of their minds to be able to know if you're someone that they could count on for a promotion or not. And for an interview to get the job, in most cases, people who are better dressed have a higher paying starting salary. There's a story that I like a lot about Bill Gates. We've all heard of him. He's like rich enough. People would say that he doesn't, it doesn't matter what he wears with how much money he has. But there was a situation where he had to appear before Congress in the United States, and instead of wearing his usual just casual wear that we usually see in pictures, he put on the formal business suit because he wanted to show them that he respected them. Right? It just wasn't about himself, but it was respect for them. And that goes along with the quote we got in the back here, that the way you dress shows respect for yourself and for others as well. And the clothing you wear can portray a positive self-image. People will assume how much power you have just by looking at what you look like. Now, there's a lot of different situations. Different countries, they call for different kinds of clothes as well. Men and women have different standards as well. So Andrew's going to talk to us about North American women, what's expected and what's appropriate.
Okay, so unfortunately women do commit more fashion mistakes in the workplace. They have more parts that can kind of, they stand out a little more. So this one here on my right, your left, is that's a gross exaggeration, but this woman here, front and center, is kind of characteristic of one of the major fashion faux pas in the workplace, and that's cleavage. And in a business setting, it's not necessary and it's distracting, it's unprofessional. Speaking as a man, if this boss called me in to reprimand me, I would not be thinking about what she's saying. I might be thinking about what I'd like to say to her, but I definitely wouldn't be thinking about what she's saying to me. And it's not because of anything about her or anything, well, it is about what she's showing off. Psychologically, this does have a psychological effect. Studies have shown that women who are very qualified are viewed as less competent when they do dress very sexy in the workplace. They're viewed as kind of like bimbos, right? So if you're a woman, you want to be promoted, and you want your fellow workers to respect you, then make sure you just do up a few more buttons or not wear a very low-cut shirt. And I don't know if this woman needs any sort of explanation. You don't want to dress like town bicycle, but you don't want to dress like a boy either, I guess. I hope I haven't offended anyone in saying that. In high school, we had this vice principal, Mrs. Hergenheim. Terrence and I went to the same high school, so everyone called her a Nazi. I think her German last name kind of had something to do with that. But she said no bellies, boobs, or butts. Those are 3 things she never wanted to see, and we can include backs as well. So those are kind of 4 guidelines that you want to stick to when you're dressing for the office. For the workplace is don't let anyone see your boobs, don't let anyone see your belly, and don't let anyone see your butt or your thong, or whatever. Another, along that same line, underclothes should stay under the clothes. So I don't know if you can really notice, but that is a dark colored bra under a white blouse. That's kind of a, you want to stay away from that as well. We don't want to see what color your bra is. Well, some creeps around the office might, but generally speaking, we don't. So here's some dress tips for success. Make sure you're clean, modest. Appearance, there's a girl in one of my classes, she's not in this class, but I could see the top of her tights when she was sitting down because her skirt was so short. And that's something you might want to stay away from if you're trying to look professional. And now she puts her coat over her skirt. So I think she learned her lesson. But limit the number of earrings. 1 pair of nice conservative earrings can really make you look a lot more attractive and confident. There's nothing wrong with looking good, we just don't want to look trashy, right? Don't wear a lot of bracelets. They make a lot of noise and they can be distracting to the people you're working around. Keep makeup to a minimum. You girls are very pretty just the way you are, I'd say. You don't need to really dress yourselves up a lot. Make sure the skirt's to mid-knee, just like that girl in the class I told you about. I couldn't believe it. That was the first time I'd seen the top of a girl's tights at school. And not too low cut of a shirt. You want guys to look you in the eye, right? Hopefully? Yes. Okay, good. So now Steve's going to talk about some fashion faux pas for men and how to avoid them.